So, Phil, congratulations on being October's Member of the Month.
Thank you.
And so, what we'll do is we'll ask a couple questions, and then let the people get to know you a little bit more if they don't know you. And then, just congratulate you for being October's Member of the Month.
Well, sounds good.
So, first question is, what do you do for work?
I am a civil engineer.
Okay.
My background is rail projects, so I design and manage railroad projects.
Nice. So did you just choose railroads, or were you kind of like?
I kind of fell into it. When I graduated college, I wanted to go into structures, and just ended up in the highways department of the company I worked for, which also did rail, and just kind of fell into it and was like, okay, this is kind of interesting, and stuck with it. So
Nice.
yeah.
And then, so how did you choose kind of like engineering and stuff like that? Did it come like naturally to you?
Yeah, I always kind of enjoyed like math and physics, in school. So I figured some kind of engineering was where I wanted to go. My uncle is a civil engineer, so just seemed like a good fit. So just went for that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what's your usual class time that you come to the gym?
Usually 5:30 in the evening. If I can, I'll show up to the occasional 4:30 class, but for the most part, it's 5:30.
Which is like with work and all that?
Yeah, with work, and then Sophie and I come together, so she works a little later than I do, so she can't get off work to make it to the 4:30 class. So 5:30 is our jam.
Nice.
And then on weekends, we'll occasionally show up for one of the Saturday classes, depending on what we got going on.
Awesome. How is it working out with Sophie or your significant other?
It's fun. Yeah, I enjoy it. Yeah, it's great to have kind of a shared hobby like CrossFit. We come 4 or 5 times a week, so there's a good chunk of time we get to spend together doing something that we both enjoy. And we'll watch the CrossFit games together, and there's a few CrossFit YouTubers that we like that we'll occasionally watch in the evenings. So I'd say CrossFit is a big part of our relationship, and it's fun to sort of see her get better as well.
Nice.
So she started about 6 months after I did, so I'd kind of got the feel for things, and then so when she came in, she was kind of new. I wouldn't say I particularly helped, but it was fun to watch her, learn what I'd kind of been learning. So,
nice. And do you think you would be as invested in it? Like you're saying that y'all kind of watch the games together, you kind of watch some YouTubers that do CrossFit, and then you come like 4 or 5 times a week. Do you think you'd be as invested without Sophie, or?
Probably not.
Probably not?
Yeah.
Just more of kind of like a side thing that you would do?
Yeah. So I started at TCF about 6 months before she did. And I mean, I was coming pretty regularly, 3 or 4 times a week, I guess. But I'd have weeks where if I was kind of feeling tired after work, I'd kind of make up an excuse and be like, I'll just go tomorrow or something like that. But it's good that we hold each other accountable, and drag each other here.
Nice. So Sophie kind of forces you to come.
A little bit, yeah. But it's a little bit of both, yeah. Sometimes, she'll be feeling, tired or stressed out after work and won't feel like coming, that I'll drag her out the door, and then, vice versa, she'll make me come.
Nice. So that's awesome that y'all can share that hobby. You can kind of hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
You kind of help celebrate and kind of push each other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's fun to see each other get better at something like this together. Yeah.
Awesome. So you were saying that you started 6 months before her. How long ago did you start at TCF?
So it's just over 1.5 years. I think it'll be 2 years in December.
Okay.
Nice. Coming up to 2 years.
And you've been enjoying it the whole time?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. TCF's it's a great place to be. It's a good community, good group of people. I like the coaches. The programming's great. Great space. Yeah, there's no complaints.
Awesome.
I had done CrossFit a little bit before, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. I did CrossFit for like 6 months, but then my office and my apartment moved, and so the gym I was going to was no longer convenient, and I couldn't really find the gym I liked. So probably had like 4 or 5 years where I was kind of missed it a little bit. So it's good. It was good to get back into it.
And was that still in like the North Carolina, or?
That was in LA.
Okay.
Yeah. So I lived in LA for 6 years before moving here, about 3 years ago. So.
Nice. Awesome. And so with you doing CrossFit for almost 2 years now, what's been your favorite movement?
I would say anything other than overhead squats.
So you really enjoyed yesterday, right?
Well, yeah. say luckily I'm injured at the moment, so I had to skip the overhead squats, which really sucks. I'd say my favorite movement is probably deadlifts, but that's probably only because it's like my best lift, so I enjoy doing that. But I like a lot of it. I like pull-ups. I like the rowing, rope climbs. There's a lot of movements I like.
I was expecting you to say something along the lines of running or something.
Oh well, yeah, I guess as soon as I'm okay.
You smoke everybody in a running workout.
Yeah, but actually, really, for some strange reason, I love the single arm dumbbell snatches. I don't know why. It's something about that movement
that you just really enjoy.
Yeah, like when you hit it right, that kind of part between, like from your kind of like your thigh to your head, where the dumbbell just kind of floats a little bit. It kind of feels good.
Is there any other dumbbell? Is it just the dumbbell snatch, or do you like dumbbell clean? Like, is it?
Yeah, pretty much just the alternating snatches. Yeah, it's kind of a weird one, but it's one I enjoy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so another question about CrossFit: what's your purpose of doing it? Why do you do CrossFit?
I don't know. I've always been kind of active, like from when I was a kid, playing soccer for years, and I used to run at a pretty high level, play rugby, go to the gym. So I've always had some kind of activity level going on. What I like about CrossFit is it's so varied. You just do a little bit of everything. One day it could be like yesterday was all barbells, and then today is running and burpees. It just constantly keeps you kind of motivated and trying new things. And then I've also, obviously mentioned the community before. So I think CrossFit offers something that most other workout places don't.
Well, what's the reasoning for you working out? So you like CrossFit other than other types of working out because it's kind of like a little bit different, kind of gives you that almost like competitive atmosphere. But what's your reasoning for working out? Is there like an overarching reason for that?
Just enjoy staying in shape, being fit. I've had times over the last 2 years or so where I've had a month or two off CrossFit and I just kind of feel sluggish, and I work at a desk 8 hours a day, so I kind of need some outlet to
like
blow
break
off
a
some
sweat
energy.
or something.
And yeah, exactly. I'd say that's probably why. Plus, got a wedding coming up in a couple of months, so
you gotta look good for that.
Yeah, gotta get in shape.
Awesome. And so, next question is, what's your biggest accomplishment within CrossFit? So, over the couple of years that you've been doing it, what's been one of the biggest accomplishments? And not necessarily, it doesn't have to necessarily be within the gym. So, like, it doesn't have to be like a PR, but maybe something that CrossFit has helped you achieve, maybe outside the gym as well.
I don't know. I'd say I've kind of noticed, obviously I've noticed just a overall increased level of fitness and strength, doing yard work or that kind of stuff outside the gym. Then inside the gym, the one thing I like about CrossFit is if you have kind of like a weakness and you work on it for a little bit, you can kind of see noticeable improvements in that. So I used to suck at pull-ups, so I started doing pull-ups a couple of times a week after class and then got better at pull-ups, Same thing with like handstand walking and some of the lifting. So I'd say just a general overall increase in strength and fitness is what I've noticed.
It's almost showing that that if you work hard at something and you really want it to accomplish it, then you can do it through hard work and be able to see the improvements.
Sure. Like you could do double unders for a while, so practice double unders quite a bit, and you get better at double unders. And some of the weights that we lift now during the workouts, I remember back to when I'd been doing CrossFit for a few months, and those kind of weights were like my 1 rep max, and now you're kind of like just lifting them up like
doing
no
for
problem.
Like 20 reps.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so you can kind of specifically remember some of those numbers. It's like, man, a year ago I was struggling to lift this. So,
that's awesome. Seeing the progress.
Yeah. So nothing specific, but just like an overall increase in a lot of areas.
Nice. And so people may notice that you're probably not from the U.S. So
right.
So where are you from originally?
Originally from the UK.
Okay.
From mid Wales.
Nice. Mm-hmm. And so what brought you over to the U.S.? You were also talking about how you lived in L.A. for a little bit. Mm-hmm. Like what brought you to the U.S. and now to Raleigh?
So as I mentioned, I'm an engineer and I work for kind of like a global engineering consultancy. We have offices like all over the world. and we just won like a big project on the high-speed rail project in California, and they were looking for rail engineers to go out there and help with the project. So I applied and ended up getting the position. So I moved to LA in August 2010.
Okay.
For a 2-year contract, and I just kind of never really felt like going back. So I just hung around, just kind of kept getting the contract extended. And then while I was in LA, I met Sophie, and we were kind of, after a few years in LA, we were looking at moving somewhere else, and she grew up in Apex.
Okay.
So her family's out here, so it seemed like a sensible place to move to once
Nice.
we were kind of looking to move on. Yeah.
So do you prefer LA or Raleigh?
I prefer Raleigh, although I do miss California a lot. Yeah, LA as a city, you know, it's a great place to be, and it was a good time. But it's definitely one of those places that kind of gets on top of you a little bit, and you know, it's just such a massive place. So Raleigh's a little bit easier to cope with, but there are times I miss California quite a bit. Yeah.
Nice, awesome. So coming over from the UK, was there like any huge culture shock that you experienced or something like that you came over and you're like, whoa?
I have to think. It's been so long ago now. I guess you guys driving on the wrong side of the road.
No,
through me. I remember that being like one of the things that really took a long time to get comfortable with.
So you just learn how to drive properly.
Yeah, drive properly. You haven't seen the drivers in LA. Yeah, I'd say that. You know, obviously tipping. I remember that being a real challenge the first couple of times I ate out at restaurants.
But do they not do that over in the UK or anything like that?
No.
Is it only a US thing and not anywhere else, or is it kind of like?
I don't know if it's only the US. I imagine there's other places that do it, but not in the UK. You don't really tip. I mean, you'll leave kind of like a gesture maybe, at the end of a meal, but you don't have to do math at the end of each meal.
Bring out your calculator at the end of each meal.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I'd say that, and then obviously, some of the other cultural stuff. I mean, we have American movies and TV shows. So for the most part, you kind of know what to expect, but there was differences in language and that kind of thing, which was fun.
So before you came over, did you watch a lot of American movies to learn the culture, study up?
Right, study up. I mean, I've been watching them, most of my life anyway. So, yeah. Well, I think from the time I got my job accepted to be on the plane was like 4 weeks or something. So it was kind of a quick turnaround. So I didn't have too much time to prepare. So,
nice.
But luckily, I'd been studying up for most of my life.
Studying up. Awesome. And so the last question I'm going to ask is, what would be your walkout song? So if, like, let's say you're coming into the gym or something like that, what song would you want to be blasting over the speakers?
Something, I don't know. I quite like dance music, rock music. I kind of like quite a lot of different stuff. So, I don't know. Maybe something by like Rage Against the Machine.
Okay.
Or AC/DC perhaps.
Something a little bit heavy metal or something like that.
Yeah,
where you
exactly.
get that like headbang going on.
Right. Yeah. Something that kind of like psychs you up, ready to throw some weights around.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. So.
Awesome. Well, Phill, congratulations again for
Thanks.
being October's member of the month, and yeah.
Cool. All right. Thank you.